Hi, I'm Kate and I make junk journals, and today we're going to finish last week's project by decorating the pages of the panel that we made for our cover. So last week we made this cover from a cereal box, and then we turned it into a folio fold-out cover, which is my favorite thing to do with covers when I'm making them from scratch. And then I was like, this is going to be a part of a series and I'll decorate it next time. So next time you come back, I will show you what I'm going to do with this. And as I sat down to get ready to prepare this, I was like, wait, what did I say? I have like no idea what I'm going to do. I'm just going to like finish it with you guys. This is not how I like to roll. I like to pick something I've already done and duplicate it. This is something I do, and then afterwards I just do whatever my heart wants. So I don't have a prepared tutorial, which I get might seem fine. But because I can get a little all over the place, I'd much rather have a concept to build off of and create a tutorial. But today is filming day, and since I did not solve my problem, I guess I will have to just face the music and do my first kind of real craft with me video and finish this folio thing. And hopefully I can get a lot done. And if I don't, then you can just probably do the rest on your own. And I have a lot of really cool ideas that I want to share, and I'm like, why did I say I would finish this? But I am not a liar, so I'm gonna follow through on what I said, no matter how much it pains me. I'm really good at making you want to watch this video, aren't I? So maybe what I should do is put a clip from the end of the video here and let you know if this video is worth watching or not. Don't worry, it's actually really cute and I'm really proud of it. It is a little disjointed, but it's totally fine. You're gonna have a blast. Phew, okay, well that's good to know. So we can continue. So let's just once again kind of look over what we did. Here is the book cover, and then here is the fold out here, and we glued it. So this is glued down, and there's a pocket here. And then this one folds up. So let's ignore this. We'll see if we get around to that. And let's figure out what we want to do with this. Okay, here's what I'm thinking is that something that happens a lot when I start putting stuff up is I get them nice and thick and then they start to pinch and not fit right. So I know if I'm going to add any bulk, I need to kind of think about where and then make sure there's room for the bulk. So this already has little scored lines, and so I'm just going to kind of fold the next line over. There we go. So just fold it like that. So now we have like this little square fold instead of a little pinchy fold. So I can add bulk there without it like getting tight and weird. So I have that little square edge, and then I have to decide, do I want it to get bulky in there and make another little square edge, or do I want to keep it simple inside? And I think I want to actually keep it really simple here and here, and then we can add our bulk here, and then that little square will give us plenty of space for those two pages, and then I can add bulk there too. So I'm going to keep that in mind as I figure out what to do, keeping these more flat, letting my heart do whatever it wants on these two. Now we sit here for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes and just look at our stuff and go, what should we do? This is a very important part in the creative process. So now I kind of have a pile of potential right here, and we'll just kind of stack that there. And we're going to do our flat pages first. Why? Because I want to. Well, I would say there's no reason, but honestly, it's so that I don't forget they're supposed to be flat. And by flat, I mean not 1/4 of an inch or thicker, but something mildly flat. So I'm gonna take an envelope as a good little start. Maybe we could just grab a couple envelopes. Should we just like go crazy with envelopes? Just have an envelope party over here. Ooh, what's happening here? An envelope on an envelope? Sounds crazy, but it just might work. That's kind of thick. I'm breaking my rules already. Yeah, that's getting too thick. Calm down, Kate. Let's keep it flat. That's fine. That's not too bad. let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down before I forget what I'm doing. And basically my thought is, so here's an envelope that I got from somebody else made this and gave it in a swap, and I wish I labeled them better, but I have no idea. So whoever you are, thank you, I love this. Do you see how, you know, I want to kind of keep this closed and then pull it out like that? So if I were to glue this little envelope here and here, then I'd have an envelope where you pull something out there, and then this isn't glued down, so you can pull this out from underneath it, and that creates kind of like a little tabby holdy thing, and it will hold it shut. And then so you have something there, and then also this is a tuck, and we can have something there. So we can have 3 things plus this is a pocket. So there's 4 layers, which again is not very flat, but it's the best that I know how to do right now. So let's do it. So I'm gonna get my Beacon 3-in-1 glue, do the bottom and the side. Oh no, I hope I'm not running out of glue. Come on, you can do it. There we go. And I am just gonna put it in that bottom corner. I probably should make sure there's not glue right on that edge so that won't get blocked. Okay, so we'll put that there. And then I have to decide what kind of pocket or tuck is this whole thing. Do I do it in 3 sides and just stick something in there? Probably. Do I do 2 sides so I have a little bit more room so my card could get bigger and take up a little more space? Probably even more likely. Do I turn it into a belly band and stick something all the way through? Probably not. Do I put it up here and make it so you pull it out of the bottom in this upside down pocket? Maybe. Let's think about that, because the placement of this is going to depend on the placement of other things and how they all relate to each other. So we'll just kind of let this float in, maybe land right here, and turn our attention to this little thing over here. First of all, do I even like this? Do I even want to do this? I don't know. Maybe it would be better like on this side. Ooh, do you know what might be cool? Is if you open it up and this is like a sideways notebook. Okay, you know what? Let's just add another little score line here and just admit to myself that I'm going to make this thicker. So I'm just gonna give myself a little less than 1/4 of an inch, and I'm gonna make a little score line there so that that can also be a squared off turning point, edge, middle thing, fold. Fold is probably the best word. And then that will give me more room to add bulk, because that's what's going on, isn't it? Crafting under pressure, we can do it. So what did I decide? Oh yeah, a little notebook. Oh, I just gutted this notebook, so I've got all this paper, and that might be nice. Let's do it. So I'm just gonna rip off one of the little signatures in here and just kind of cut out all the little strings. Be free, little paper. So I'm going to find the middle of this signature and just pull out all of those little strings that didn't fall out. Okay, so there are several things we could do. We could sew a line down there, which is usually my go-to, but I don't know, my sewing machine's kind of put away right now, and I already feel so overwhelmed by everything. So I'm going to probably just do a little pamphlet stitch, or I could glue it too, because I'm kind of running low on glue. Let's pamphlet stitch. Grab some yarn. So here's just some white string. It has several plies in it, so I'm going to just grab one little ply of the yarn, and I don't know where the end is, so let's just make a new end. So I'm going to just grab one of the plies and try to get the rest of them down. There we go. So I cut it to be a little more than 2 times longer than this. That will be plenty. And thread the needle, pull that through. Now, maybe I won't even do a pamphlet stitch. Maybe I'll just like sew it. I've never done that before, but there's already these little holes, and I feel like that could work. Oh, let's start the other way. So from the inside out, I'm going to, no, from the outside in. I'm gonna just follow kind of the little holes that are already there. And I'm just gonna tie a little knot. Will that not go through? Oh, look at that. And I'm also going to dab some glue. I know that I'm gonna glue this side down and that side's gonna be exposed, so I'm gonna glue it on this side. So that way that will kind of be glued in place but not visible. Okay, and now I'm just gonna go in and out along these little holes and sew it together. I just realized this is too tall, so I should probably cut it before I sew all the way to the top. But let's figure that out before I sew any further. Where's a pencil? Where do all my pencils go? Children! It's okay. Here's a pen. So let's cut this. Let's just cut it a little below that line. And then, oh, so it's about the top line to the back line. Look at that, didn't even need a pen. So let's slide this on over here and slice it up. The top line. And then down to the bottom line. Let's see how we did there. Is that about right? You know, I probably want a little bit of an edge there, right? I don't want it to take up the whole. No, I do. That's fine. Let's make it line up almost to the back of that. Why not? And if it's terrible, maybe you should see how it looks and then you can change your mind. Save yourself. But I bet it will actually look awesome, which is why I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna just cut a little piece off, and I don't know how to tie such a little string to a knot, so maybe I should have knotted it first if I wanted to do that. But I am also very confident that this little piece of glue is gonna hold it down just fine. And look, we just made a little booklet, which I've never done that before, so that's cool. Now I want this to be pretty much the same length as this panel. So I'm gonna line it up here and cut it just a little bit into where my first score line is. Maybe like there. Okay, it's too tall, it's bugging me. I'm just gonna trim it down real quick, right on that bottom line, just to give myself a little bit more space. There we go, that feels good to me. Let's do that. So it definitely looks like it needs some ink around the edge. So let's choose what color we're going for. I think I'm gonna do weathered wood. I think it's just my favorite. So let's get those edges nice and inked up. So get a little color all over those edges. Add just a little more contrast, texture, design. Now I could open it up and do all the inside ones too, but I actually don't want to. So I like the way that looks for some reason. It makes it seem like a little bit more of a cover, and then the inside, I don't know why I like that. And now I'm going to glue these three sides and turn it into a pocket because I can't help myself. But if you do this, then don't put it right next to something that folds unless you do have lots of room, and if something sticks out, it's very soft. So I will show you what I mean in a minute. I'll probably use like a little piece of lace or fabric or something that's soft and can kind of fold out. That way there's still a tab and you can see that there's something to pull, but it's not so squished because we got room for it. So let's go ahead and glue that down. And then I'm going to line it up to where it's pretty much meeting up with the edge right here. So when you open it up, all of a sudden you have this whole little notebook that's secretly a pocket. I'm gonna find a card that fits this space. See, things are already getting way messier than they normally do for tutorials because I don't have like pre-planned paper. So this is when all my crafting stuff just comes out and fills up everything. And I'm sure you guys are all fine with me kind of disheveled, and I know I'm gonna edit this so it's not gonna appear as chaotic as it feels to me, or as slow, or as whatever. But on the back end of this video, it's gonna be a lot longer with lots and lots of editing me out, just looking through stuff. And probably have to pause and clean my workstation a few times so that I don't have a craft explosion like I usually do when I craft. Okay, so something kind of taller. That seems like the perfect size. Ugh, but it's not decorated. I don't want to have to decorate a tag. It's a little too long, but I could trim it. I make all these tags in preparation so I can just put them in my journal, and then I make these very custom, you know, pockets that I have to make new things for anyway. This is something so pretty that my mother-in-law, Kathleen, gave me, and I've never used it because I love it too much. In fact, I'm gonna use this for something else. Okay, let's just use this and pretend it's decorated. I'm gonna decorate it another time so that this video doesn't take 5 million years. Okay, so that's gonna fit back there quite beautifully, and I want it to disappear all the way. And then I'm going to take it and take some ribbon. If I use this, will that start being a little too monochromatic? Maybe we need to add some more color. I think so. So what I'm gonna do is put this kind of in the middle, maybe a little bit higher than the middle. And I'm going to make a little loop that sticks out quite long. I want it to be nice and out there so that when it folds over, if it's too short, it's gonna be like almost stiffer in that little corner. But if it's long, it can kind of fold over, kind of get just squashed in there, and easy to pull out this little card. Okay, so let's trim that down. And first I'm gonna glue it. I just put little pieces of glue on either one of those edges, and I'm gonna stick it on there. Oh, and look, I stuck it right in the middle, not where I wanted to. That's okay, it'll actually probably work better in the middle because it will pull it out evenly, even if it's not quite as cute. And then I either wanna put a brad there. Oh, I could use one of my new heart brads. Let's do that. Goodbye, crocodile. I'm not using you yet. So I'm gonna take my awl and just make a little hole just to make putting this through easy. And I'm just gonna put that cute little heart through, and that'll kind of help keep it and make it look more finished and designed. And come on, that's super cute. And then this can just hang out there and be a little squished ribbon, and it's fine. It could just live in squishy land. Live in squishy land? What am I saying? Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying. Oh my gosh, you guys, editing these videos is always so funny to me because I'm like, finish your sentence. That's not a word. Use proper English. Also, I'm like, I know more words than fun, exciting, and cute, but apparently when I'm half thinking, trying to craft, those are the only 3 adjectives I happen to remember. I have a slightly larger vocabulary, not a whole lot larger, but still, it's funny. The art of crafting while you talk is really harder than I thought it would be, and something I hope to get better at. And that's another reason I really like to be prepared and already know what I'm doing, because it takes out half the thinking. Okay, let's see. I think I'm ready to put that there. Now that that's there, that's just what I feel in my heart. So I'm gonna just do a typical pocket. So gluing it those 3 sides. And we'll just stick that sort of, trying to keep it balanced in the middle-ish. Whoops, I put that way over to the side. That's too bad that that is not more centered, but that's what I did, so, oh well, it's fine. I can always add something if that starts to look too blank. We'll leave it for now and see what happens as we go. Okay, so now let's fill in. I always really try to fill in all of my pockets and envelopes while I go, because otherwise I get done with the journal and I forget to go back and like check all the pockets, so it'll be empty. My mother-in-law often will just have like a pocket, so you can put whatever you want in there. So if I have a photo or something that's like important to me, I'll have a place to put it. And I can't do that. I have to fill every pocket. I don't know why. And it's interesting because I see hers and I'm like, oh, that's such a great idea. And I would like it. Like, I don't feel like it needs to be full, and I look at your journal and it looks fabulous. But it's interesting what I can and can't bring myself to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab a little card and stick it in this envelope and fold that up. And then I need something kind of small in front of there. You could stick that little postcard there. I like the way that looks, although we need to define those edges a little bit more. Okay, this is looking a little too green and brown and orange. We need a little bit more fun. I don't want it to get too drab. No offense, earth tones. Okay, here's that tag from that tutorial I made when we made 3 tags of this one that like opens up a whole paper onto a tag. And so I'm gonna stick that here, right back there, and that'll add some cute color back there. Oh yeah, and this needs something too. It's funny, I can tell I'm starting to get mellow because I'm thinking. Like sometimes I get really hyper when I do tutorials, but then as soon as I have to like decorate anything or like start the crafty part, I feel like my energy is just like, so I don't know if that translates, but that's the way it feels in my heart. Okay, let's just grab this little card. We'll stick that in there. So now I've got 2 panels done. How much am I doing today? Am I doing this whole thing? I don't know. Let's just keep working and see what happens. And okay, so let's concentrate on this little panel. See, we already have a notebook and envelope stack. What else could we do? Part of me just wants to stick a belly band down there and call it a day, but I always feel like when you just stick a belly band on it, it's like you just kind of are phoning it in. It's not gonna happen, is it? No. Starting to think of things. So I think what I'm gonna do for this one is have this paper. So it's just a scrapbook paper fold it up, fold it over, and I just barely cut that to the size of this. And you didn't see that because my phone just kind of glitched a little bit. But luckily I noticed that it stopped recording before I just kept crafting, which has happened in the past, so I'm really happy that I didn't really lose any time here. I think you can imagine me cutting this paper to size. And if you can't, then you're on your own. Okay, let's, before I glue this on, ink the edges. And I'm going to ink all of the pink edges just because I think the combination of pink and weathered wood looks so good. And not the back because that will be glued. See how it just pops open? I'm just gonna kind of widen that fold or soften it, or I don't know. Let's actually use a scoreboard to do that. I'm just gonna bring this there and just kind of score on either side of that fold line just to kind of round it out and make it just a little larger so that it can lay more flat. Does that work? Yes, it did. Now, oh, is that too much opening this way? Maybe. But you know, it's the front of the book, so everything should kind of fold out, right? We're gonna say yes to that so that we can feel like we're doing it right. I'm gonna start by gluing these inside pockets, just making a line here and a line here of glue and folding that so that that will stay closed and those pockets will be in there. And then I'm going to decide where I want, now this is the spine of the book, so I don't want that to be a pocket. I will want to do kind of what I did here and create another little tab. So I'm gonna glue the back of it here, here, and here. Okay, and then we're just gonna stick it a little closer. I'm actually gonna put it pretty much right up, just like 1/8 of an inch away from that edge, just so that we can kind of avoid getting too close to this spine, so that when we open this, there's lots of room and it's not gonna get in the way of the rest of the pages. Okay, let's find a tag for back there before I forget. That is too tall, so I'm going to fold that down and see if that is the height that I need. That seems to fit. We'll chop it around that fold line. We'll see how deep we can go. And that goes all the way behind, so that is good. So I'm going to round the corners of that. Ink the edges a little bit. And I might come in later and add more writing space to the front of that. Probably will, but I'm not going to do it right now. So let's find another piece of ribbon to kind of do the same thing over here. There's just some blue. We'll want that folded out. Probably there is good. Grab some glue and we'll stick that on. And this time we will use the crocodile. And I'll just grab a little eyelet right here and punch a hole. And we'll stick the eyelet in right there and smash that on there using my brute strength. Oh, and this tool that makes it easy. And we've got that little eyelet there that's almost centered. Centered enough for the likes of me. And then that will fit in there and just kind of stick out a little bit there. And then we have that we should probably put some sort of paper or something in there. Avocado paper, too much pink. Ooh, maybe we should fold this and stick it here as extra writing space. Oh, I could even put it up there. That's what I'm gonna do actually. I'll just do it on one side so you can still see some of the scrapbook paper. So I'm gonna put it with a border around there and then come and cut it right there. Okay, then I'm gonna ink that up. I just realized I don't really think I'm explaining much. I don't really know how this is turning out. So hopefully I'm remembering to say what I'm doing out loud. So yeah, that's just tri-folded and cut to where there's a good border around there. And what I like about doing stuff like this is when you put something in the pocket, it keeps it closed. So it's kind of fun to add more with the space above a pocket and keeping it kind of interactive because it will be smashed down with the card. So let's glue that down. And because I don't know how to glue something down without making more pockets, we're gonna make it a pocket. And I think I'm gonna have, no, that's the spine. I don't wanna do that. I'll have it come out this way. Maybe the top. That'll probably be the easiest. Let's do that. So we'll glue 3 sides, the 2 sides and the bottom to make a pocket. And I'm going to give it a little bit more space on the top so that we can have a card poking out right there. Still a little bit of a border between that. Okay, and then I'm going to find a tag. Is that too loud? Yeah, that's too loud. There's something a little more calm. Too calm? No, I like that. Okay, let's use one of these cards for the other side. I feel like that one is what I want. Okay, and then do we do something down here or do we just leave that? Let's see how, that's pretty even and flat. Where's our bulk? Our bulk is kind of mostly in the center. We have room to bulk at the top and the bottom, but not a ton. This is actually quite flat and even. It is definitely more bulky in the center, but I like the way that lays, so I don't need to try to compensate too much by evening it out, but I do have some room on the top and bottom. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. Eventually, I'll either just, let's just do it now. Let's stick a butterfly and call it a day. Oh, I just got this super cute butterfly. It comes in a whole set for free for Camilla Crafts and Designs. If you want to donate to her YouTube channel and her creating content, you can. But if you don't want to, it's a free download. And I did donate a little bit when I got these from her because I appreciate the content she creates. But she gives it no string attached. I'll have a link in the description for this, but they're just a whole bunch of framed butterflies in different frames and different butterflies. It's like the best freebie ever. So the link is in the description. Go get one. Just glue it flat, Kate. Don't turn it into another little pocket. I'm gonna be strong. I can do this. And I might add a few more things to this bottom thing. This one is one I think I'm gonna sell, so whoever has it, maybe they'll wanna put their own stuff on it, or you know, you could even write on that. So we'll see how I feel about this later, if I think it's done or if I add more, but that is good for now. This, what do we wanna do with this? Leave it alone? That's actually kind of pretty, but it is kind of blank. Okay, I have to sit here and just stare at my junk journal for like 10-20 minutes. And then you guys can just skip into the future and I'll tell you what I decide. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to decorate this and then this, and then that will kind of help me to see if I do need to kind of shift the weight of how it lays, and that will help me decide what to do here. And if it gets too bulky, then I can leave this blank because I really think this is beautiful. So I might just leave it, but if there's room or I need to compensate for something, then I'll add more. So that's my plan. And let's start with this one. Oh, now I'm gonna stare at it for another good little while and let you know what I think. Okay, I lied, I'm gonna do this one first. And I think I'm gonna take, this is from one of my old planners, and I think I'm gonna just try to keep this very flat and smooth so that the excitement doesn't happen until you start opening it, and then it kind of like lines up with the signatures nice and smooth. So I'm gonna cut this down to be, let's see, would I rather have it say jot it down or have plants? Those plants will be kind of cut off awkwardly. So I think I'm gonna line it up like this, keeping the bottom, we'll chop off the top. And I want it almost to that edge and almost to the top edge too. So let's trim that down. And then I'm going to have this go almost to that edge as well. So I'll just pinch that and cut that. Get lots of comments wanting to live inside my brain. So here you go. This is the best I can do to let you live inside my brain for today. It's funny because every time someone says that, I am like, I don't live in my brain. That sounds like scary. Like, sounds crazy. Which is so funny because I'm like, I live in my brain and I'm fine and I like my brain. But I guess like when I imagine like living in a brain, it's like a lot more intense. I think it's a kind of a funny phrase. Anyway, okay, so I just glued that on 3 sides. Sorry, I stopped. I got distracted. Didn't tell you what I was doing. Okay, and then that will just be a nice little spot to write on. Although I don't like when logos are on the papers. So if there's something with a logo, we can just grab some sticker or something and cover it up. Here's a little butterfly, which might be a little bit random, but I like that better than a logo. And now I'm going to find a piece of paper to stick. And I want a paper because, I don't know why, I just feel like something in my heart is telling me that it needs to be some sort of stationery paper. So I'll look through those. Ooh, or what about a recipe card? Maybe my heart was wrong. Okay, let's cut it down to about there. Yeah, let's round those corners. Those little pointy corners are so offensive. Oh no, is my corner puncher breaking? So it happens when your thumbs are so strong. Ugh. More like when you buy the cheapest corner puncher. Okay, so that looks more like something. I'll put it there and just look how simple that is. Yes. Okay, let's do just one more, right? Because that's the cover. Just one more. And then we're not going to do this. And I don't even know if I'm going to show you what I do for this. Maybe I'll just show you later, like, look, I did this. I am really curious. I know I've said this several times, but I'm really curious how this turns out when I go edit it all together. Because in real execution life of me doing this in real time, it's very disjointed and slow, and it's taking a long time, which might not be a bad thing. I just like to feel a little more prepared, and I feel like I'm offering more value when I have a plan and I can just show you what to do. So we'll have to see how this turns out. And you'll have to tell me if you prefer the normal tutorials that I do, or if you like to see me make stuff up. But maybe when I add it up, then maybe magic will happen and it will actually not be too bad, or maybe not even that different. I don't know. Making such a big deal and you're like, you always seem disjointed. Why are you pretending like this is new? Gosh, you don't have to yell at me. Sorry. Okay, it's time for me to just stare again. Okay, how bulky is that? That's already like super bulky. Look at that. We're already like taking up a ton of the room in this book. So I don't want to go too crazy, but I still want it to be fun. And like literally I'll just sit here and stare for like probably more realistically like 5 minutes, sometimes like 10 or 20 minutes. But I will just like in my brain imagine like pocket here, put it in there. What if I put a strip here and I put lots of little papers on it and then the whole thing flipped open and we could put a pocket here. And then I like imagine, you know, what that would do and where everything would go and how it would look. And I don't even know if my imagination's accurate, but it's just kind of trying to puzzle in and think about what's different, what haven't I done, and what the possibilities are. And currently I do have more room here and here, so I either need to keep it even or make sure it's top or bottom heavy or both, but not to try to stack too much in just the center. I am thinking about this stamp thing and how maybe I could cover that whole thing, or maybe I don't mind it. I kind of feel like doing a strip and then having some go in and then having some paper go up. I also am thinking about how I could have things swivel somehow by putting a brad in. I like that concept that I've done before, but I'm just trying to see how it would play out. I'm thinking about if I had the whole thing like a paper here and then like fold in and then kind of tie in that little circle-y tie thing, you know, like these things. But that might get too much and we're already quite bulky. Thinking about if I did paper that just rolled up, but I don't want to do that. Maybe I'm getting tired of doing that because I feel like I do it all the time. I could also just stick a belly band, call it a day. Okay, what other ideas? I do feel like the last page is always the hardest because you're kind of like at the end of possibilities, and so like whatever you're gonna do, now's the time almost. And then there's also this like, well, you've already done all this stuff, and so things start to feel repetitive. And you do have more limitations, like how much bulk is already there and, you know, how it looks next to everything else. You know, like if we keep this blank, this should be a little bit busy or more compartmentalized with multiple things. So it's not just like a flat thing and a flat thing, or I could, you know, add more here. You know, I think I am just going to stick a belly band on it because we haven't done any sort of belly band anywhere, have we? And it would look good because it's more layered and stacked and it's simple, and let's do that. So let's find some sort of paper. Oh no, did I just think of an idea? It's funny how I'm always like, oh no, I thought of something. I don't know why I'm not like, yay, I thought of something, but I do always feel a little bit like you need to hold back. Which I don't know why. I shouldn't hold back. I should just follow my heart and do whatever. And I do anyway, so I might as well just love it. Okay, but my thought is we'll do a big fat belly band and then a smaller, something that opens up. So trying to keep this semi-flat. Oh no, I just looked at the time. I need to pick up my kids from school in 15 minutes. So let's do this. And that's 15 minutes my time, not 15 minutes your time. Your sped up time gets to skip a lot of the boring stuff. I have to sit through it all. Okay, so we ink that up. And then I'm going to just glue the top and the bottom to turn that into a belly band. Okay, so let's put the paper behind there. Okay, let's put that. No, I don't like how blaring that white is. Let's do this one instead. It's a little more subtle, but still gives some contrast. So I'm gonna slip that back there, trim that down right there. Okay, we'll stick that behind, and then let's create just with some sort of writing paper. Look, that one is already the perfect width. My dream was to have it line up and flip up. Let's see if I have another one that's longer. If not, we'll go with that one. Oh, look at this one. Folds open, which is, I'm like, that's all I do is fold open. But that would be cool if we had that and another pocket, or even another belly band. It could be like a double belly band or a little side pocket. And then you have something stick there. You don't need it to flip up, right? We flip up here. Flipping up is overrated. Let's do this. I like this idea. And I like the staggered look of it. So I'm gonna cut that down. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this down here, here, and here. And then I'm gonna be sticking it down close to the right so that there's room for whatever is going in that pocket. And let's find some sort of tag. Do we need something blue? I feel like we need something blue. Okay, that's blue and cute, and it's too thick, so I'm going to trim the edges down so that it is the right size. Uh-oh, did I cut it down too much? Maybe a little. What happens when you don't mark where you're gonna cut, but that's okay. I'll just stick a little tab on it, which will add even more interest or a little something else. Well, it looks good. Ooh, no, too many dots. That's cute, let's do that. Something close to the middle. We'll stick that in there. And that lines up perfectly there. I'll just pull it out. I don't have to shove it in all the way deep. I like it better when it kind of hangs out like that. Okay, and I should probably, there needs to be something. Let's just grab a word or a phrase. Here's some of my new fun stuff. Butterfly, colorful butterfly. Two kinds of butterflies. Calm down. Special. No. Where's like a word or something? Ooh, a key. Key is cool. No, it was cool till I put it on that page. That's not what that page needs. What do you need, page? Good life. Do we have a good life? I actually like it because the gray kind of softens the whole thing a little bit. Like everything else is a little bit softer. And I think it's kind of fun if it hangs off and then it's kind of like a little tab. Plus, our life is so good. Okay, sticking it right there. Kind of bleeding off the edge a little bit. Good life. Okay, phew. Now I have to go pick up my boys from school. This took way longer than normal, but that's fine. This is actually a lot more fun than I thought it would be. So let's do a little flip through. So here is, we'll have our little cover, and I'm gonna decorate this. This is not how the outside is gonna look. And then when we open it, we have this little pockety thing, lots of fun writing space. Then we're like, what? It flips open again? And then we have this little note card, and then this little card, and then that flips open. And then we flip that open again, and we have a whole little notebook. And then behind it, we have this little card that you pull out with the tab. There we go. Then we have this little envelope, a little card inside. Get back in there. And we've got this little postcard. And we've got that little writing card. Put that back. And then we have this card, which is that whole page. Okay, and then we have this little secret card and this little folder that opens up with some more writing space. Whew, we did it. Look at that. Well, Let me know what you thought about today. And next week, I already have something prepared that is, should be really cool. Oh, so I'm excited to see how this turned out. So maybe I'll try this again. Maybe I'll never want to do this again for as long as I live. But tell me how it was on your end. And I'm totally not offended if you're like, no, this was a terrible idea. You should always just do pre-planned tutorials. But in either case, whether this was fabulous or not, thanks for hanging out with me. And if you make anything from any of my tutorials, tag me on Instagram so I can see what you made, or you can email me photos at katesjunkjournals@gmail.com. Make sure you remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.